I can't believe it's May. Here's the latest episode of Unfiltered Brew. I'm Deb Miles along with Kim Becker, and I can't believe it's May already.
I know it. I said that too. You know, when you were a kid, did you ever hear they would say, like, the older you get, the faster the time goes? And I did not believe them that was true. And I'm looking at it like we're in the second quarter of 2026. Like, it's gone so fast. So fast.
Can you imagine when you were a kid that you would be around like in 2026?
No.
I mean, we of course we would be. We are. But there's certain things when you think of in the future, it's like, nah, that's not right.
So like I remember my grandmother and I remember my grandma being like 50 or 60. And, you know, back in those days, it was the house dress and the apron. And she went once a week and got her hair done. And my grandma looked like 80 her whole entire life. And so I always thought that, like, when you turn 50 or even when you turn 60, like, you look really old, because my grandma always did. So when you ask that, like, I'm like, oh gosh. Now I look at myself and I'm like, well, I don't look like grandma used to look. I don't look, I don't feel my age. I don't act my age either. But
and I think because maybe I'm on a wellness journey, maybe I'm feeling better, but I think I'm aging backwards, like Benjamin Button or something. Yeah. I want to do younger things the older I get.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to MC an event a couple of weeks ago. And somebody that was there I hadn't seen in a really long time. And she was part of the Hello Gorgeous journey from the very beginning. She was press person here in town. And she said to me, you have not changed a bit. She goes, what's your secret? I'm like, it's skincare. But, when people say that, I'm like, and I too, and with you, do you look back at pictures of yourself?
I do. And sometimes my mom, but you got to remember, my mom talked about getting their hair done once a week. She always had like the football helmet hair.
Oh, yeah, my grandma did too.
But when I was 8 years old, she had my hair like that.
Oh, so you always
I was like a mini her.
Really, you have aged better as you've gone forward.
I really have. The football helmet hair is gone. I still highlight it and low light it and dye it, but it's still at least looking stylish.
Not football at all.
No, but my mom used to always do that. She always used to get her hair done a very unnatural color. It was brown, but had red tones. And not that I'm laughing, but when she passed away, they were going to dress her up and put her in the casket and stuff. And the lady comes up to me and she didn't want to say anything. She goes, I'm not sure if we can get the hair right. I said, well, let me see if I can find a color picture of her and what the color picture is supposed to be. And the poor woman at the funeral home took her forever to figure out the combination of the brown and the red, because the hairdresser that my mom used was gone, wasn't around.
Yeah.
So she would do that. But she used to get so mad at my grandma because my grandma had, even though she was like 80 years old, she had salt and pepper hair. She never went all gray, my grandma. Yeah. So my mom and my aunt, who would always dye their hair to get the gray out, always would be upset about her. And people would say, oh, is that your sister? No, that's my mother. Now, granted, my grandma was probably like 17 or 18 and married and had her young, but it always used to get to her about that. But yeah, getting old, people embrace gray hair now, right?
There are some people that do, some people that shouldn't.
Now, yeah,
Well, and I will tell you what, COVID did a lot of that. Right? Like people that couldn't go to the salons and get their hair done, they just decided they were going to grow their color out. What amazes me is that people will spend however much money, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for injectables or facelifts or whatever. All they need to do is get their hair colored. Like if you get your hair colored, it will take years off of you if you get that done.
It's taken me this long for me to even think about going blonder.
Oh, I like that idea on you.
I know, and I'm getting blonder, and that's what I'm saying. I'm aging backwards. And I
don't think that's a bad thing.
My wellness journey continues. I've lost 42.5 pounds in 16 weeks. I'm doing well on that, and I'm feeling better, and I've got more energy, and I'm doing things. I'm healthier, so I'm thinking, gee, maybe I am going to hang around a long time. Who knows?
Well, and let me just applaud you. And I said this before we started our podcast today, but I'm very proud of you for the way that you are doing this. Mm-hmm. You are very wise. What you've said several times through our conversations before we started this is it's more about being healthy than it is being thin, right? You are being monitored by a doctor. Your blood pressure is decreasing. They're watching your sugar. I mean, there's all the things, there's all the benefits that go on it. I think so many times what happens is people look too much at the scale and you're not looking at what the health benefits could be, right? You focus on the scale and not the non-scale victories. And I get, the scale victories are really important to you too. That's what's made that. But I love when you have said your focus is just getting healthier.
It had to be because, like I said, I was taking blood pressure medicine. Now that's cut in half, and my blood pressure today was 112/74. I've never had blood pressure like that. I've never had blood pressure like that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But also, I'm glad that I go to Medi Weight Loss all over the country. But Medi Weight Loss, and what they do there, though, it's important because when I go in there, they automatically take my vitals. They look at everything. I pee in a cup. They make sure, everything is fine. And that reassures me because a lot of people are taking like the GLP-1 shots. They just buy them off the internet or buy them and they just do it themselves.
Correct. But the other thing is too, is that you're eating real food too. Like it's teaching you how to eat. It's not something that isn't real.
My mind has totally changed about food. I mean,
and that's it, right? That's the shift that you needed because this is not only a physical journey, it's a mental journey.
Most certainly is.
And that's where you have done that. You flipped that switch now where it's become, like you said, you're thinking differently about it.
I mean, even when I go grocery shopping, my shopping cart is totally different. Chicken breast, ground turkey, no more buying pastas, no more buying breads. I have a keto bread that I buy. But, I mean, it's a whole different way of thinking. And when I think I'm cheating, it's totally different.
Right.
Like the other day, I had 2 bites of a piece of cake because it was my birthday. So I had a little bit of cake, and I felt terrible about that. I felt horrible. But my friend, she goes, it's your birthday.
And it's moderation. I think going forward, that's what it is. It's interesting. So a month ago, my insurance company will pay for this app that you can get. Mm-hmm. And you track your food, you track your weight, you weigh yourself every day, and then it tracks what you eat. So when I first started the app, because I had done like my MyFitnessPal for a long time where it was the calories, this is really interesting. They don't count calories, but they give your food a nutritional value. And so out of 100%, they want you to stay at 50% like healthy eating. So what I realized was, sure, I could keep myself within 1,500 calories a day, which wasn't a big deal, but they were empty calories. Mm-hmm. It didn't mean anything. So as you have had a mindset shift, I have too, because what I realize is, okay, as I'm tracking this and I've been very diligent about putting it in the app. I'm like, okay, right. I realize that I was eating this. I don't eat much. I snack, but most of the snacks that I eat, so something, for instance, there are these Belvita biscuit things. They're supposed to be very fibrous and stuff. I get 0 points for that. Like there's no health benefit. There's no health benefit out of it at all. So it'll drop your score down. So it's just really interesting. Like you said, that mindset shift. It's just when you become intentional and then you become aware of things. I think that's huge, which is what you've done.
I think it's important. Yes. I think it's important because to realize what you're putting in your body.
Yes.
Because I'm not a health nut by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm thinking, why would I eat like a bowl of cereal like I used to have, which probably wasn't so bad, but it was bad. I mean, it had sugar, it had, carbs in it. Why would I eat that over like, maybe an apple or yogurt? Even though the sugary cereal might be good, and in the past it was very good, but in the long run, it does nothing for me but make me miserable. Make me gain weight and not be healthy
sometimes.
Yes.
What I have found, so with this, again, just watching it and eating more nutritious foods, I'm more satisfied. Where I feel like before I would eat 1,000 calories and the last 500 calories, I'm chomping at the bit for something because those 1,000 calories didn't satisfy me nutritionally.
I recently went with a friend and we stopped off. We'll talk about the Luke Combs concert, but afterwards we were so hungry. And so the only place open was Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, all right. So I got a mini taco salad. I mean, it was mini, but I used to get 3 or 4. When I go there, I get a burrito supreme, couple taco supremes, and just nacho. I mean, but now that's what I got, and I was satisfied with it.
And isn't that interesting, though? That's how that changed. That's what these last 4 months have done for you, as you've said. It completely changes it. You don't have to deprive yourself.
No.
Right? You were able to find something at Taco Bell. It's just completely different now, right? Where you're just looking at it because it's nourishing your body. It's not just to satisfy a craving.
Well, and that's true because
I guess you had gone to the Bean and you got like, I don't know, 15,000 steps in or something like that. It was ridiculous. I'm supposed to get 7,500 steps in a day. I have yet to get there. I have yet to get there. And I don't sit on the couch and do nothing. I work 2 jobs, but it's that you have to be very intentional of what you're doing. I mean, there was a day where we walked around Costco, we walked around Meijer, we took the dogs for a walk around the river walk. I'm like, I don't know what else to do. Maybe I just need to sit and move my feet.
That's what I do when I go out on remotes now. That's a live, for my job. I work on a radio station, so we do live appearances. If I'm standing around, instead of just standing around, I'm dancing. Yeah. I'm moving around. I'm pretending I'm dancing to the music. But I just keep moving.
Now they know your secret.
And the important thing is I try and get at least 2,500 steps, at least by noon.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Because afterwards, if I get home and I'm thinking, it's 6:00, I need 5,000 steps.
Yeah, right.
So I just keep moving, and then I can't sleep.
Right.
My legs are. I have that restless leg syndrome or something because I'm all geeked up.
Right.
From all the exercise.
Right. Well, that's what we had said the other day, and that's what Melanie and I were talking about. It really is about being intentional, right?
Right.
It's just like with your eating. You have to be mindful and intentional now, where you're not just, and every meal counts for you, which is really great.
Yeah,
right?
and I write everything down that I eat.
And that's
why you said with your app.
Yep, I'm tracking it through the app, the same kind of thing. And so what's really cool about the app is you get a summary then at the end of the week. Here's how many times you ate out. Here's how many times you ate packaged food. Here's how many times. Here's what you can do to improve. I mean, they do a really good job. I'm sure a lot of it's AI generated.
But it doesn't matter as long as it keeps you on track.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, like I have a friend of mine she's into fitness and she's a trainer, but she does not use a Fitbit or Apple Watch or anything like that. And she'll say, well, they're not accurate. And I said, well, I don't know. I look at it, and if I guess they're not 100% accurate.
No, but if it gets me moving because I notice I don't have much steps and it's effective.
I'm thinking yesterday I burned 2,600 calories.
Good for you.
And I thought, all right, well, that's pretty good. Even if it's off, 800 calories or whatever, I still 2,600 calories. It can't be off that much.
That's right.
And then like I said, with my birthday and stuff, I kind of went off. I ate some pizza. I had cake and stuff, but I didn't drink all of my water either. So I knew that would, because one week I had 5 pounds. This week I lost 1.5 pounds. But I lost inches in my stomach.
But you still lost. So even with the pizza and the cake and that kind of thing, you still lost. So what I always say, and I challenge people, if you weren't on this plan, what would you have eaten?
Oh, I probably wouldn't even a lot more. I'll tell you that. I would probably had the whole pizza.
And would you have lost 1.5 pounds in a week?
No, I probably would have gained 4 or 5 pounds.
Correct.
Right.
So
they're happy with me.
That's right. Well, and to be mindful of this, right? And I think that's the biggest thing. It's just being mindful and open. And I love what you have said. It's about getting healthy, and it's about how you can see how you view food differently now.
And it kind of upsets me that it took me this long in life to figure it out.
Well,
because I've always had a weight problem.
Me too.
I've always had a weight problem. My mom always harped on it. You have a pretty face, but, you're still heavy.
But that's why you didn't want to do anything about it.
Well, I tried. I thought I was, but in my back of my mind, thank goodness for my therapist.
Right? No kidding, me too.
Really, because she goes, my mom was not a mean person, but she was very matter-of-factly, and I think she just didn't know how to be overly affectionate with her, But you always knew with her actions and what she did that she loved you, and so I don't want to put that out there that she wasn't like that, but she was a Rosie the Riveter. She worked in a factory for 40 years, and so she was a little hardened by things. Mm-hmm. So I think it for me to finally detach myself and figure that out later in life, because my brothers are all, your mom did so much for us. Mom was wonderful. I thought, okay, yes, she was. But they were kind of seeing everything through rose-colored glasses.
Sure.
And as the only girl, I think I was treated a little differently that way. But for me to figure that out, that food, you're not always, you don't equate what you're worth to what you look like.
That's right.
But for a long time, I did.
Sure.
And it took me a long time to figure it out. I'm glad I finally figured it out because I finally figure I have more years behind me than I do in front of me. So now's the time for me to finally figure it out. And, whatever happens in my mind, if I get my goal weight, that means I'm going to find my dream man. I'm going to do this and that. No, now I'm figuring it out. If I do find somebody, they're going to have to love me whether I'm fat or
That's
I'm
right.
thin. And they're going to have to understand.
You have found your self-worth.
Yes. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say.
You have found your self-worth, and it's not tied to your weight. And I think that that's where people make the mistake. And we talk about it all the time, and that is that, I'm going to do that, but I got to wait for the kids to graduate from high school. Oh, I'm going to do that, but I got to lose 50 pounds first. Oh, I got to do this. No, because nobody's promised tomorrow. So whatever it is that you want to do, you just need to do it today. And where a gentleman is concerned, he's going to love you for your heart. He's not going to love you for your appearance or the number on the scale. He's going to love you for the heart that you have.
And plus, as you get older, the men get more desperate.
You're still holding out for a sugar daddy, aren't you?
I'm hoping so. But at this point, it would be nice. It would be nice to find that. It really would be. But as you're going through life and you're thinking about, different things that you do and how you do it, it's never too late to do something that makes you feel better.
I agree.
So if you get anything out of this podcast, and we're going a different way than I thought we were going to go today, that's great. I love when we have these conversations because there's nuggets in there that you can really take out of it. Because a lot of people are worried about, no matter if they are overweight or not, they're always worrying about their looks and how their appearances. And if you have something about what you don't like, they'll say, "Oh, change it. Go ahead and change it." But it's not easy.
It's not easy.
You've got to change your mind, and trying to change your body is not easy.
Well, so I'll be vulnerable with you.
Okay.
So when I have a therapist as well, a counselor, I call her. But I really struggle. So the last time that the number on the scale was lower than it had been in a really long time, I got diagnosed with cancer.
Wow.
So for me, I equate getting back down to the number. And here's the thing, it was so weird. So Mike died in 2017, and I got diagnosed with cancer the first time in 2019. So almost 7 years ago. And I remember as clear as day looking at that number on the scale and thinking, I wonder if I'm sick. Standing in the bathroom and thinking that, only to find out I was.
Wow.
And so when I went to the counselor the other day and we were talking about it, and I thought, so you talked about detaching, which made me think about that, right? She said the same thing. You have to unhook those two things. She said, do you know for sure that the number on the scale was directly related to your cancer diagnosis? I said, no, but it was colon cancer. So, or a tumor that was in my colon.
Right.
So those things can go hand in hand. Weight loss is one of the symptoms.
But did the doctor say that?
No.
Okay.
But in my head.
Yeah. Didn't matter. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And so, right. So I get it. Like you have to detach it because for me, in your mind, I'm like, okay, if I just keep myself where I'm at right now, right. And my weight always fluctuates up and down 10 pounds. Right. But if I just keep where I'm at right now, then I won't get sick. And for me, all my numbers are good.
Right.
Like I'm not on blood pressure medicine. I don't have problems with my sugar. Everything is perfect. My cancer numbers are perfect. So, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, so don't screw with it. Just stay where you are and don't mess with it for fear that if I do that and that number gets lower again, does that mean that the cancer is going to come back?
Wow.
So, it really is. So when you say that, when you talk about the mind shift, sometimes weight loss is more of a mental game than it is a physical game. Because when you realize what it is, like why it is that you eat or the way that you view food, I think that that's where that shift comes in. I think that makes a big difference.
Well, I think anytime, because I've never really been thin in my life. Excuse me, I've got drainage.
I was born a size 12. I'm sure of it.
And
there was no 3T or 2T. I was born a size 12. Me too. I've always been that way.
I was a chubby.
Yeah, me too.
Remember?
Me too. Me
Had
too.
those clothes, chubby.
Yeah, me too. And I remember when Sethi was born, and I remember standing inside JCPenney's, crying, because for my child, I had to buy
They had
him.
Huskies.
That was it. That was it. And he just, it was genetic. It was his genetic makeup. Mike wasn't svelte. Neither was I. So Seth, of course, now Seth is, you look at him now and he is a power lifter and, has a really good physique, but he's trying to slim down too, to kind of take care of that. But I remember, it's the things that you wouldn't do for yourself that you would do for your kids. And I remember being in JCPenney's and having to go to the husky sizes for him because he was not, that was what either they fit in the waist and then they were way too long, or they didn't fit at all. And so when you got the husky sizes, then it fit. But I had that. It was always it was the chubby sizes.
The one bad thing, I took piano lessons.
Me too.
And I had a piano recital. And my mom went and got me an outfit. I'm going to cry about this because it's sad to me. I had an outfit. And she bought it at Sears. And it was a chubby. And it had elephants on it.
Oh, why did they even make that? Why would you even make an outfit in a chubby size with elephants on it? Who was it? It must have been a man. It must have been a man that did that.
How cruel was that?
I know. That's awful.
And I had to wear it. So I tried to do my little piano thing. I couldn't do it.
I know. And
it was red and blue, and I had a white shirt underneath.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
And it's those things, right, that they scar in your mind. Like they have our parents did the best they could with the knowledge that they had, is what I keep telling myself.
Well,
right?
My mom, it'd be funny. We'd go in there and look at clothes, and she'd have to explain me. And I said, well, we're in the chubby section. There are other chubby people here. So why do you explain? Well, I know she eats too much. I'm Italian, and we eat a lot of pasta. And I realize she shouldn't be eating all that. And sometimes she leaves. I said, Mom, I'm right here. I'm standing right here by you.
Yeah. But I remember going into 7th or 8th grade. We had changed schools, and I was, I bought outfits in the women's section, right? It wasn't necessarily the kids section,
right?
But it was the dressier women's stuff because that's what fit. And I hate, to this day, I don't know about you, I hate buying pants.
Well, I have to watch that because a lot of times when they say they're my size, but they're too long.
Yes.
Or if I get like capri pants, or other pants that you roll up, or jeans that you roll up, they're still too long.
Yeah.
So I can never be totally stylish.
No,
but
I know.
It's getting better though. I'm getting excited because I'm buying smaller clothes. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Well, that's why.
I can get different styles.
That's right. Well, and that's why, when I took the role in television that I did, I hired a stylist. Because
very
I said,
smart.
Okay, well, and for me, I was very conscientious. Now, obviously, my size doesn't matter because they hired me.
Right. No,
here
it doesn't.
I am. Right. And so when you talk about that, your weight doesn't make you. But I'm like, I want to be the best version of me. Right. I want to be the best version of myself. So I hired a stylist that would come out and say, all right, here's what you are. So for me, and I never realized this because nobody ever told me, but I'm broader at the shoulders and then I narrow as I go down. And what she said is that will never change. No matter how much weight you lose, you will always be broad in the shoulders. So I would do the opposite. I would wear dark on the bottom. I'm a black pants girl, right? I was in a hairdresser. Right. So black was, every color of black is my rainbow. But what happened was because I was wearing dark on the bottom and light on the top, that's not what I should be doing.
No.
I needed to go dark on the top and light on the bottom. So it streamlines me. And so I think that was a huge, huge, huge help, was being able to have a stylist that would come out and say, okay, I didn't wait. I didn't wait to lose 50 pounds to have somebody come out. I said, I need you to make me look good right where I am. If I never lose another pound, how can I look really good at the weight I'm at?
It's also good to have that because you get out of your head.
Yes.
Because I know the woman you had. I love her to death. And also when I do
say her name because she listens to us.
Kathy Friend. Kathy Friend. Thank you, Kathy. But she sees outside the box.
She does.
So she sees what you could be wearing, but you would never think to wear it.
Well, and that's what he said. You know what she taught me too, which I love, is that we shop out of habit.
Yes. Okay,
We shop
black
out
pants.
of habit.
I am never going to get pink pants. That will never happen.
Me neither. And you know what? And some of the pants that she had me get, I love. But I would have never gone into the store and picked them out myself.
No.
Never. And so that's why I love all of that stuff. And she went and she put these outfits together for me. And then once you start, like, now I know, right, that I'm kind of like an upside down V shape kind of thing. All right, now I know that what I need to look for when I go shopping by myself. But I love it that she would put these outfits together and then I could mix and match those. And it's for inspiration more than it is anything else.
And I think, I know this is very female oriented because we are females on this podcast.
Yes.
But men have this issue too. My brother buys the same clothes he's always bought for the last 30 years.
Listen, I have a friend that her husband and her son actually want to make an appointment with Kathy.
Good.
Because they want the same thing. Look at my shape. Because a lot of times men are straight, but there are things that they could be doing that would accentuate their style for the shape that they've got right now.
Right.
Yeah. And so men can use her service too, because I think that men could benefit from that.
And now, I do MC a fashion show every year, which I've done for 15 years, and I love it. It's a great cause. But I always get very nervous because they pick out my clothing that they find that and I get never.
How did you feel this year?
Oh my God, I felt great.
Yay!
Because you know what?
You look great.
I went a month ago or 6 weeks ago to get a fitting for it. And the white pants, or the off-white pants, were kind of tight. And so I was a little worried about that. So I bought new Spanx. I bought it. And so I tried them on the day of the show. And I was talking, I wasn't even paying attention, and I'm pulling them up. I didn't even unzip them.
Oh my gosh!
I pulled them up without even unzipping them.
That's so
and I
good.
thought, these aren't the same pants, are they? Here, and there's the same pants. Curry is. She said, yeah. She goes, oh my God. She said, we may have to find something else for you. I said, well, just pin me up in the back. So they pinned it in the back. And then I had a leopard, which I love leopard, but I always think it's not one of my things to wear. Even though the coloring's good, but that jacket looked nice. It was a longer
great.
leopard jacket.
Yeah, it looked great. It looked great.
And I had a nice little, sparkly top. And I said, well, I don't know. This top says large. I think I need an extra. I'll try it on. And I did, and it fit great. It was just amazing.
And that's what those non-scale victories are so important, right? It's those kind of victories where you put a pair of pants on without unzipping them. That you wore a large instead of an extra large, right? I mean, all of those things. But we shop out of habit.
Yes.
So you would have immediately gone to the extra large rack.
Yep. Or maybe 2X for a top.
Right, exactly, right? But when you've got somebody else that's helping you with that, then you don't have that. Then you don't shop out of habit.
And sometimes you need that extra eyes. You do. And if I know a lot of people can't afford a stylist or whatever, but I think they're more economical than you think they are.
Yes.
But just to go somewhere to get some advice on things. Once in a while, it's good to refresh things, even if you're you don't have to be overweight or anything like that. But just to kind of like, that's why I used to do like the Stitch Fix stuff and everything, because it kind of was that concept was they're going to send me stuff that I would probably not buy.
Right.
Myself.
Well, let me tell you, you know what? When Kathy came out and did my analyzation of things, I always thought that I was cool. So I could wear like the jeweled tones, like the royal blue and that kind of stuff. Right, exactly. She told me I'm warm. And so I've got like a rust colored shirt and gold and like an army green and this and that. And every time I wear them, I still get compliments on them. But I always thought, I mean, my hair color's not really changed, or obviously my skin tone doesn't change at all. But again, having somebody objective look at you, it would change. And again, you shop out of habit. Because I thought I was supposed to wear the jewel tones. That's what I would wear. Now knowing that I'm not, now I change and I don't shop out of habit so much.
So what I'm getting out of this podcast is that no matter how old you are, no matter what you look like, no matter how much you can spend, no matter how rich you are, you can always improve on you.
Absolutely. It's never
stop.
Too late.
Because my brother said, "Oh, you're trying to lose weight now, or whatever." And I thought, okay.
But it's not. But you are. But it's still improving your health,
right? Exactly.
I think that's the biggest thing, right? I think about that so often too, because I'm 59,
right?
Sethi he's not married. There's no grandkids yet. I'm like, okay, so if in the next 10 years and then I'm going to be 69 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What do I want my health to be like at 69? I want to be able to get down on the floor and play with my grandchildren. I want to be able to go for a walk and go to Disney and all those kind of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to be able to walk and not have your knees hurt, not have your hips hurt.
And that's another thing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at my stamina now.
Right.
We were at the Luke Combs show, and I walked those 15,000 steps, and I walked, and my feet did not hurt the next day.
See, isn't that amazing?
Well, I had my good feet, or heart support system. But other than that, it was just, it's amazing. So whenever you feel down on yourself or whatever, remember, you can always improve you.
You can. And it's never
Don't give up on you ever.
But here's the other thing, too, is that I want people to know it's not the big things. It's the little things that you do consistently. It's 2 millimeter shifts. I talk about it all the time. It isn't the big things, right? So let me, just an example, right? One of the things, as I said, I'm a snacker. Every day I have a protein shake for breakfast, especially for the show. I don't want to eat a big breakfast. That's it. So what I did was then after the show, I would have this Trader Joe's, which is supposed to be nutritionally better. It's this frosted mini wheat cereal kind of thing. So that was my snack. As soon as I'd get in the car and drive to the office, and I'd have this. Well, when I started this app, I'm like, okay, I'm going to change that out. So I did. So I stopped eating the cereal, and now I have an apple every day.
Yep, I do too. Every day. Makes a huge difference.
Yes, what a big difference. It's one thing that I have done consistently that it made a huge difference. So that's what I want you to know. It's never too late, just what you said. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be the big things. It's the little things that you do over and over and over again. Getting your water in every single day, right? Now I'm supposed to get in 64 ounces. How many ounces of water do you have to get in?
I try and get 80 ounces.
Okay.
But yesterday I was great at it. Today, not so great at it.
Yeah, but that's okay because it's you're better at it more days than not.
Yes.
And so that's the difference that you're making. It's not the big things. It's the little things.
Remember that. It is the little things. And in fact, I am going to call this episode May I Weigh In on This? Because it's May, and we've been talking about weight, and we're talking about helping each other. So that's what I'm going to call it. But anyway, if you have any comments about this podcast, please get a hold of me. My email is deb@b100.com.
And I'm Kim at kbecker@hellogorgeous.org. And also, if you don't need this podcast, but you know somebody that does, we ask that you share this podcast with them so that hopefully we can give your friend a little bit of hope as well.
Absolutely. We want to help out. That's what this is all about. And, whatever, maybe you don't have to lose weight. Maybe there are other things in your life that you are challenged by. Just give yourself some grace.
That's right. And 2 millimeter shifts and do it consistently, and you'll notice a big difference.
Oh, I already do. Enjoy the rest of May. We'll be back in June. Have a wonderful, wonderful month.
Yeah. See you next time.
Bye.